What if you could see your business through a whole new lens? One that reveals hidden potential and gives you a serious leg up on the competition. Well, that's pretty much what value analysis is all about. And today, we're going to dive right in and break down exactly how it works. And really, in a world of constant change, this is the question, isn't it? How do the best companies out there not just get by, but actually pull ahead? Well, they have a system for figuring out what's truly working, what's just a waste of time and money, and where their next big win is hiding. And that system is exactly what we're going to explore.
All right, so let's start with the basics. What is value analysis really? Let's cut through all the jargon and get right to the heart of what this powerful idea is all about.
Okay, think of it like this. If your business was a car, value analysis is the process of popping open the hood, looking at every single part, and asking, hey, can we make this part work better? Or can we get the exact same performance from a part that costs less? It's this relentless systematic search for efficiency, and it can have a huge impact on the bottom line.
So that's the theory. But what does this actually look like out in the wild? Let's take a look at 3 completely different industries to see just how adaptable and powerful this whole approach can be. And this is where it gets really interesting. Take a super high-stakes industry like construction. There's a specific flavor of value analysis they use called earned value analysis, which is basically just a fancy way to measure how a project is doing against its original plan. And the impact is massive. A recent study found it led to over 15% in cost savings and a 10% improvement in schedules. I mean, for a multi-million-dollar project, that is an absolute game changer.
And this table here? It just brilliantly shows that the word value means totally different things depending on where you're standing. For pharmaceutical companies trying to weather a recession, research shows it's all about liquidity. Cash on hand is king, even more than profits. For construction, it's all about that tight control over costs and schedules. And then you look at a digital platform, think TikTok, value is tied to stuff like content quality and how you stack up against the competition. See, it's not always just about the money.
This also shows us that there's more than one way to win. Using a cool framework called DuPont analysis, which basically unpacks a company's profitability, a recent study found 2 very different roads to success. You've got your old-school industrial giants. They win through sheer size and financial muscle. And then you have the new-school tech companies who win with killer ideas and the amazing profit margins that come from innovation. 2 totally different playbooks.
But okay, let's pump the brakes a little. As powerful as all these methods are, they are not a silver bullet, not even close. They come with their own set of challenges and some pretty significant limitations we need to talk about. So here's the deal. These fancy analytical models are only as good as the data you put into them. It's the classic garbage in, garbage out problem. If your data is messy or incomplete, you're going to get a flawed result. It's kind of like trying to predict the weather with a broken thermometer. And it's not just the data either. The models themselves can be incredibly tricky, and if you don't set them up just right, they can give you a completely warped view of reality.
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of the biggest criticism out there. Researchers like Xi have pointed out that traditional models can get way too focused on the numbers you can easily count. They often completely miss the bigger picture. The game-changing new technology or the shifting competitive landscape that's really going to decide who wins in the long run.
And that brings us to the other big piece of the puzzle. The world just doesn't stand still, right? Markets swing up and down, rules change, economies go through cycles. A static model, no matter how brilliant it is on paper, is always going to struggle to keep up with a reality that's constantly moving.
But here's the good news. These limitations haven't stopped progress. Actually, they've done the opposite. They've sparked a whole new wave of innovation that's making value analysis smarter, faster, and more powerful than it's ever been. The future of value analysis is all about becoming more dynamic, more intelligent, and way more holistic. We're seeing this shift towards models that can learn and adapt on the fly, using cool forecasting techniques to predict what's coming next. We're also seeing the rise of AI, which can do incredible things like analyze the quality of coffee beans with more accuracy than any human. And finally, we're seeing this move towards a much bigger picture of value, one that actually includes a company's impact on society and the environment. And all this has led to a brand new toolkit. We're talking automated testing for better quality control, approaches that blend different kinds of analysis to get a fuller picture, and these really comprehensive frameworks, like a case study done on the Tesla Model Y, that try to measure a product's total impact on the world. It's pretty cool stuff.
All right, so we've covered the basics, seen it in the real world, and even peeked into the future. Let's bring it all home. Why does any of this actually matter for a business?
So why does all this matter? Well, because in today's hyper-competitive world, you just can't afford to guess anymore. You need a systematic way to optimize everything you do, to build up your defenses against surprises, and to find that crucial competitive edge. That is what a great value analysis gives you.
When you really boil it all down, the benefits are clear, and they all feed into each other. You get better financial results, which leads to more stable and reliable operations, which in turn gives you a stronger position in the market. It's like a trifecta of business health.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question. In your own world, in your own work, are you just measuring the things that are easy to measure? Or are you focused on what truly, genuinely creates value? Because the answer to that question, well, it could change everything. Thanks for joining me.